Chicago at 41 cities in the United States, Mexico and Canada have submitted preliminary bids to host 2026 World Cup matches. The North American Bid Committee said Thursday its proposal will be sent to FIFA in March. The bid is expected to include up to 25 cities. At least 12 cities would ultimately be selected if the FIFA Congress picks the joint bid when it votes in June 2018. The 2026 World Cup will be the first with a 48-nation field. Morocco said it also intends to bid. More top Premier League storylines. Week 4 3 sites were dropped from the preliminary list announced last month: Calgary, Alberta, Green Bay, Wisconsin and San Diego. Just 3 stadiums that bid hosted games during the 1994 World Cup: Chicago's Soldier Field, Dallas Cotton Bowl and Orlando, Florida's Camping World Stadium, formerly known as the Citrus Bowl. Soldier Field underwent a gut renovation in 2003. 2 of the sites on the list hosted matches at the 1994 at stadiums that have been replaced with new venues on adjacent land: East Rutherford, New Jersey and Foxborough, Massachusetts. Stadiums are required to have at least 40,000 seats for group stage matches and at least 80,000 for the opening game and final. 32 areas and 35 stadiums are on the list for the U.S. Canada has 6 cities and Mexico 3. 3 stadiums were submitted from the Los Angeles area and 2 from the Dallas area. The U.S. would host 60 of 80 games, including all from the quarterfinals on. The bidding stadiums: United States, Arlington, Texas, at Stadium Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium Baltimore, Mount Bank Stadium Birmingham, Alabama, Legion Field Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium Chicago, Soldier Field Cincinnati, Paul Brown Stadium Cleveland, First Energy Stadium Dallas, Cotton Bowl Denver, Sports Authority Field Detroit, Ford Field East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium Foxborough, Massachusetts, Glendale, Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium Houston, NRG Stadium Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium Inglewood, California, LA Stadium at Hollywood Park Jacksonville, Florida, Everbank Field Kansas City, Missouri, Arrowhead Stadium Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field Las Vegas, Raiders Stadium under construction Los Angeles, Memorial Coliseum Miami, Hard Rock Stadium Minneapolis, US Bank Stadium Nashville, Tennessee, Nissan Stadium New Orleans, Superdome Orlando, Florida, Camping World Stadium Pasadena, California, Rose Bowl Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field Pittsburgh, Heinz Field Salt Lake City, Rice-Eccles Stadium San Antonio, Alamodome Santa Clara, California, Levi's Stadium Seattle, CenturyLink Field Tampa, Florida, Raymond James Stadium Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Commonwealth Stadium Montreal, Olympic Stadium Ottawa, Ontario, TD Place Regina, Saskatchewan, Mosaic Stadium Toronto, BMO Field Vancouver, British Columbia, BC Place Mexico, Guadalajara, Estadio Chivas Mexico City, Estadio Azteca Monterrey, Estadio Rayados. Are we headed for an MLS Cup final rematch? For the first time since 2012, Toronto FC remains red-hot, and 2016 champions Seattle Sounders have joined the Reds as teams in fine form. Follow all of PST's MLS coverage. It's been some time since we last visited the power rankings, and there are some huge movers. 2 preseason favorites are in the bottom 6, while one team has shot up 11 spots and into to the top 5. Here are PST's latest MLS power rankings as we head into another busy weekend. Team ranking last week: 22-20-21-18-20-15 Colorado Rapids. Last win came July 1st. Orlando City SC. Let's focus on the people of Central Florida instead of talking about their soccer club. Stay safe from the storm. Orlando. LA Galaxy. The 30 win over Colorado, of course, ends a 9-1 run. Need to scour the earth for a 3rd and 4th. Dos Santos, 1921 Minnesota United. The Loons aren't great, but have 2 wins in 4, and have you seen the bunch behind them? 1812 Philadelphia Union. Similar to DC, the Loons have gone winless in 5. The only saving grace: they host DC on Saturday. 1-7-3 FC Dallas. Like Sporting KC last season, the teams we deemed the deepest in the league each spring should bribe us to rescind the label. 16-19 New England Revolution. There aren't too many road heroes in MLS, but New England's mark is especially deflating: 0 wins, 10 losses, 3 ties. Coastal problems. Only San Jose has lost as many away days. 1-5-2-2. DC United. See what happens when you sign good players. The Black Hundred have 3 straight wins, but still sit 8 points back of 6th. 14-17 San Jose Earthquakes. A good sextet of matches has the Quakes in the thick of the West's playoff race. Marco Arena and Vako Kazarishvili are an underappreciated duo. 13-4 Chicago Fire. Saturday's win at Montreal was just its 3rd result since July 5, with only 2 wins in the bunch. 12-14 Montreal Impact loses of 2 in a row since 4-match win streak. 11-5 Houston Dynamo. 1 loss in 8 matches since July 1, but just 3 wins. Matches in hand on playoff rivals help the cause. 10-13 Vancouver Whitecaps. Unspectacular but consistent. The Caps haven't lost back-to-back matches since March 18. 9-7 New York Red Bulls. The 32 derby loss to NYC kick-started a 5-match downturn following 4-match win streak. 8-8 Atlanta United. The good just 1 loss since late June. The bad yet to win over last 6 weeks. 7-8 Portland Timbers. We would suggest batting on these fellas, for better or worse, but 4W1L2T since June 23, and the only loss was in Toronto. 6-11 Columbus Crew. Unbeaten in 4 and angling for a home playoff match ahead of this weekend's SKC test. 5-16 Real Salt Lake. Nearly as hot as TFC. The Utah set may miss the playoffs thanks a horrible start and matches in hand for Vancouver, Houston, Dallas, and San Jose. If that happens, the West will exhale. 4-5 Sporting KC loses of 2 of 3, both on the road. A warning: SKC has only played 3 road matches in last 8, drawing the 3rd. 3-2 New York City FC. Without Philip Ring and Herrera, Patrick Vieira's men found a way past Sporting KC on Thursday. 2-9 Seattle Sounders. Since losing at NYCFC on June 17, have 6 wins and 5 draws. 1-1 Toronto FC. Since September 7, 2016, Toronto is 2-2W6L12T, and their last loss came July 1. One of those losses came in PKs in the MLS Cup final. The Reds are really good. Follow at Nicolas Mendela. It's back, friends, and the Premier League's 4th week again finds a battle of giants on the docket. More latest Premier League standings. Liverpool visits Man City as the league's 5 UEFA Champions League sides eyeball their table positioning as well as European group stage debuts next week. Elsewhere, Europa League entrants Arsenal and Everton have home matches, while Swansea City's big-name signings should debut versus Rafa Benitez's embattled Newcastle United. Fireworks exploding in the distance. Manchester City, Liverpool Saturday, 7:30 a.m. ET. NBCSN stream. Temporary towers saw Saturday at the Etihad Stadium when Pep Guardiola's City and Jurgen Klopp's Reds bid for second place to better in the Premier League. Both attack-minded sides have 7 points, and harbour dreams of a title. Both sides were hopeful of landing Virgil van Dijk or another centre-back stud before deadline day, and this match faces the prospect of goals upon goals. Philippe Coutinho is back, training for the Reds, and Klopp will have to find the best fit for his attack once the Brazilian is ready to enter the fold. City is off to Feyenoord to start its UEFA Champions League campaign on Wednesday, the same day Liverpool hosts Exeter men Nolito, Jesus Navas, and Sevilla. The much-anticipated Emirates Stadium reception for Arsene Wenger. Arsenal, Bournemouth Saturday, 10 a.m. ET. NBCSN stream. The Gunners have 1 win in 3 matches to start the season, could not land any late transfer targets, and sold neither Alexis Sanchez nor Mesut Ozil. The Wenger brigade is at full throat, and who knows what's cooking from the North London faithful as oft-rumoured Wenger replacement Eddie Howe and Bournemouth hit the scene in search of its first points of the season. Bournemouth broke Arsenal's 4-match hex in a 33 draw at the Vitality Stadium in January. Could this be the day it finds love at the Emirates? Nathan Ake of AFC Bournemouth and Olivier Giroud of Arsenal. Photo by Michael Stilegaty. Images. Early separation day for Spurs. Toffees Everton, Tottenham Hotspur Saturday, 10 a.m. ET. CNBC stream. On form, Spurs arguably deserve to be 30 but have followed up their strong performance at Newcastle with poor finishing days against Chelsea and Burnley. They also can't afford to look past the Toffees and to the Wednesday's UCL visit from Borussia Dortmund. The Toffees have an extra day to prepare for Europa League, where they'll look to the road and a Thursday trip to Atalanta. Everton received very little love from the Premier League schedule makers, and now face Spurs after a draw versus Man City and a loss to Chelsea leave it level with the visitors on 4 points. Chelsea's ex-Foxes return to the King Power Stadium, Leicester City, Chelsea, Saturday, 10 a.m. ET. NBC Sports Gold Stream. Danny Drinkwater and N'Golo Kante will get an interesting reception at the building where they completed one of the biggest surprises in football history, as the Blues engine room duo hits Leicester City. Chelsea has 2 wins from 3 matches, and would like to keep its title defence aspirations pointed in the right direction. Breathing room. New additions welcome in Wales. Swansea City vs. Newcastle United, Sunday, 11 a.m. ET. NBCSN stream. The similar vibes between these two clubs begins and ends with acquiring desperately needed wins before the international break. That's because Swans had big success toward the end of the transfer window in landing a loan of Bayern Munich's Renato Sanchez in addition to buying Wilfried Bony and Sam Klukas. Newcastle's Big 30 home win versus West Ham was burnished with 0 additions on deadline day. Rafa Benitez has his work cut out for him. Follow at Nicolas Mendela. Fenerbahce is hoping that Diego Costa's unrest at Chelsea could help it land an elite striker for a few months. The Turkish powers are looking to take Costa on loan, a move the BBC says seems unlikely but possible due to Turkey's transfer window running until Friday. More World Cup prognoses for all confederations. Costa, who turns 29 next month, is widely expected to move to Atletico Madrid once the Spanish club's transfer ban is lifted in January. Fener manager Aykut Kocaman admitted his club made an offer, and that talks were progressing well for some time. He said it now looks unlikely but added that talks continue between Chelsea, Costa, and Fener. The Turkish club boasts Robin van Persie, Roberto Soldado, Mathieu Valbuena, Martin Skrtel, and Mauricio Isla, and the addition of Costa would certainly help its chances of returning to the UEFA Champions League. However unlikely, it's worth monitoring as Friday progresses toward the deadline. Follow at Nicolas Mendela. On a busy week of MLS action, let's take a deep dive at this weekend's top 3 matchups. Follow all of PST's MLS coverage. Atlanta United vs. FC Dallas, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. ET. After 6 months at Bobby Dodd Stadium, Atlanta United finally get to take the field at its permanent home stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium plays host to Atlanta United against FC Dallas as the two teams battle for playoff places in the respective conferences. Both teams are sitting in the last playoff places available and need to get wins to get back on track. Atlanta United is winless in its last 4, but the club get designated player Miguel Almiron back from international duty. He and Joseph Martinez will be hoping Yamal Assad can find them in space to bring the Atlanta fans to the feet. FC Dallas, on the other hand, are winless in its last 7 games but have drawn 2 of its last 3 matches, maybe a sign of positive results on the horizon. Chicago Fire vs. New York Red Bulls, Saturday, 4 p.m. ET. The Fire returned to winning ways last Saturday with a 10 win on the road over the Montreal Impact, and now they return home to face Jesse Marsch and the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls sit just 4 points behind the Fire in the Eastern Conference standings but have struggled on the road this season, winning just 4 times out of 12 games. The Red Bulls have lost 8 of the 12 away at MLS games this season for W. Last year, they only lost 7 of their 17 away games 3W7D. Slip. Optajack at Optajack, September 3, 2017. It will be interesting to watch how the midfield partnership of former Red Bulls midfielder Dax McCarty and Bastian Schweinsteiger deals with the Red Bulls' high press and short passing system. Seattle Sounders vs. LA Galaxy, Sunday, 9 p.m. ET. For the second time in a little more than a month, Sigi Schmid and his LA Galaxy side face his former club, the Sounders. Schmid won his first game as Galaxy manager last weekend with a 30 decision over the Colorado Rapids, but it's been tough sledding for a team that's dealt with serious injuries across the lineup and international call-ups all season long. Seattle, meanwhile, is unbeaten in its last 5 with 2 draws after 3 straight wins, and as an added boost, the club gets Jordan Morris and Clint Dempsey back from international duty with the U.S. men's national team. It's unclear whether Jovan Jones will play, after departing from the Sounders without permission to join up with the Trinidad and Tobago national team. 5 at Sounders FC have allowed multiple goals in just one of the last 9 at MLS home games, including 5 shutouts. Formidable. Optajack at Optajack, August 28, 2017. Full MLS schedule. All times ET Saturday. Chicago Fire vs. New York Red Bulls, 4 p.m. Toronto FC vs. San Jose Earthquakes, 5 p.m. New York City FC vs. Portland Timbers, 5:30 p.m. DC United vs. Orlando City SC, 7 p.m. New England Revolution vs. Montreal Impact, 7:30 p.m. Minnesota United vs. Philadelphia Union, 8 p.m. Houston Dynamo vs. Colorado Rapids, 8:30 p.m. Vancouver Whitecaps vs. Real Salt Lake, 10 p.m. Sunday. Columbus Crew vs. Sporting Kansas City, 1 p.m. Atlanta United vs. FC Dallas, 3:30 p.m. Seattle Sounders vs. LA Galaxy, 9 p.m.